Right, we're going to go to speak to Chris Blackhurst now, former editor of the Independent newspaper. Good morning again, Chris. Good to see you. What did you make of this? I've just mentioned these findings over the weekend that Rishi Sunak could become the first Prime Minister to lose his seat in a general election. Even his constituents in North Yorkshire don't admire him sufficiently to want to vote for him, and he's the PM.
Really quite shocking. I must say, if it really got that, I mean, I find it really, really hard to believe it will get that bad. I mean, his seat is incredibly safe. If it's, well, that's a total meltdown. It would make the Michael Portillo moment, which we all remember, it would pale into insignificance. But things are very bad for the Tories. There's no doubt about that.
Is the answer, Dawn was posing the question just a moment ago, Chris, what is the issue that would perhaps energise the Tory voters to go back to the polls to support them? Is it migration, is it NHS waiting list, or is it having some money back in their pocket through tax cuts? What do you think is the number one issue? Well,
it's an interesting answer. I mean, I know this because I spent 4 years working with Linton Crosby on their private polling. It was always income tax, NHS always came top. Now I'm not sure about. I heard you earlier saying that you thought the boats was the biggest issue. I'm not sure about that. Certainly, the pound in your pocket, that old saying, still rings true. And the NHS is far ahead of anything else that concerns the people in this country.
And I wonder, Chris, whether the voters would have given up on the Tories on the NHS because waiting lists are at a record high. And I suspect if and when Labour win the general election, not much is going to change there anytime soon because they haven't got an answer either.
No, they haven't. And really what's funny about the NHS is that it's never actually talked about. If you remember the last few elections, and we've had a few in no space of time, the one thing they don't talk about, the NHS, it's almost left unspoken because there's no solution.
We've got, at the moment, it looks like we have a Labour Party that is divided over the Middle East, the situation in Gaza and Israel. We've got a Conservative Party that seems divided over Rwanda now and how to solve that issue. Which of those is the biggest issue for each party, do you think, Chris? Who's facing the most division?
That actually is a very good question. I've not thought about that. I mean, they're both really divided. There's no question. On Rwanda, it's going right to the cabinet, where you've got Robert Jenrick versus James Cleverly and David Chalk. I mean, there's a split there, which is obviously very serious. The Tories are grappling all the time with the One Nation Tories and then the right-wing Tories. Labour have got their own problems. I suspect right now it is Rwanda, but, you know, they're both split. They're both divided.
Chris, on Wednesday we've got this autumn statement. A few years ago, there was no such thing as an autumn statement. This was something Gordon Brown brought in. I mean, how did we ever manage politically and economically without an autumn statement and then a flipping budget again in March or April?
I don't know. I mean, it's a very good point, actually. I mean, I'm old enough, and I think you are too, we all are, to remember when there was just a budget, and that was the thing. And now we have this autumn statement, which was never meant to be really paving the way for tax cuts or anything else. But that's the sort of cleft stick we've got into. As to what he's going to do, I think, he is in danger of over-promising. He can't fuel inflation. I think there's going to be a lot of noise about small businesses being the engine of the economy. He's quite safe with small businesses. So look out for national insurance cuts, freezing of business rates, things along those lines. He might, in the face of the campaign, he might give way on tourist tax, which would be a boost to London and the West End. But I really don't see any cut in income tax. That would go down badly. He's going to do that. He'll save that for April as an election sweetener.
Very interesting. Chris, I make a prediction. The Michael Portillo moment at the general election won't be Rishi Sunak. It'll be Jeremy Hunt, because I'm 90% he's going to lose his seat.
Yeah.
He's going to lose his seat. And I wonder if people will cheer as loud as they did when Portillo lost.
I think, the difference there was Portillo, if I remember right, wasn't he chairman? No, he was...
Stephen Twigg, it was Enfield Southgate.
I don't think people care as much about Jeremy Hunt as they did about Michael Portillo.
That's interesting.
At that time, it was a huge moment. Jeremy Hunt, I mean, we're living in an era where our main politicians just do not have the same degree of either sort of popularity, or they don't split people's opinion in the same way. I mean, the only one who does...
Yeah.
They don't have
the only
impact,
one who does right now is in the jungle.
Yeah, exactly. Chris Blackhurst, thank you so much for joining us.
Quite well made. Quite well made.